Welcome. This video is meant to give more background on one of the specific restorative justice practices we do in the Older Adult Restorative Justice Program, a joint program between CARIE, the Center for Advocacy for the Rights and Interests of the Elderly, and Good Shepherd Mediation. If you haven't already watched our more in-depth webinar on the program, please click the link in the description below to watch that video first. If you have any questions at the end of this video, feel free to contact a restorative justice advocate at CARIE. We have information on how to contact us in the description below. Today we're going to demonstrate a victim offender conference, also known as a VOC. A VOC is a restorative justice model of dialogue, which consists of a voluntary face-to-face meeting between a victim, someone who has been harmed, and their offender, someone who harmed them. It's key for a VOC that the offender has taken some responsibility for the harm they caused. The conference is facilitated by a neutral, trained third party who focuses the discussion on how the parties have been affected and how they can move forward and experience healing. The purpose of a VOC is to provide victims and offenders an opportunity to have a safe, structured setting to facilitate healing, reconciliation, and restitution. The victim offender conference we're going to show you in this video is a fictional situation. It involves Marie, a woman in her 70s who owns her house and rents the second floor apartment to Kelly, who is a single mom in her 40s that has been living there for years. She has a daughter who recently moved away to college, and so Kelly lives by herself now. There was a fire one night in Kelly's apartment that was started because Kelly had a candle burning and, in a relapse of her alcohol addiction, she had been drinking and fell asleep, and a curtain caught fire. The fire destroyed much of Kelly's apartment and some of Marie's apartment downstairs. Before we gathered today to do the conference, the facilitator, played by Sue, who you'll see later, and the restorative justice advocate, played by me, Katie, will have done a lot of preparation. The first thing that will have happened in this case is that a CARIE Restorative Justice Advocate will have received a referral about the situation and will have reached out to the older adult victim to find out more about what happened, to explain restorative justice, and to see if they are interested in participating in a restorative justice process. Then we would provide Good Shepherd with a background on the situation, as well as contact information for the victim. Good Shepherd will then reach out to all the parties to make sure that they are willing to participate, and will have made sure that the offender, in this case Kelly, has taken some responsibility for her actions, and to prepare them both for what's actually going to happen in the victim offender conference so that they know what to expect. Also, in the individual meetings that happen before the conference, the Good Shepherd facilitator will have an opportunity to find out if the parties have any specific concerns, anything they do or don't want to come up in the conversation. The facilitator will also have found out from the victim, Marie, if she wants to be the first one to speak in the conference or if she would rather the other person speak first. Because the facilitator is a neutral party, it's important to have the CARIE advocate available to support the victim. The advocate will remain in contact with the victim as needed to make sure they understand the process, have support both during and outside of the victim offender conference, and have assistance with any issues that relate to the harm, like insurance or housing. Also, because of COVID, the conference will take place over Zoom rather than in person. Before we get started, I want to point out that, for the sake of time, this is a very abbreviated version of a victim offender conference. Ordinarily, there would be a lot more questions and discussion than what we're going to show you today. The conversation would probably go on for an hour or more, taking breaks as needed. Thanks for listening. Let's get started.
So good afternoon, Marie and Kelly and Katie. We're here for a conference between the three of you, or between Kelly and Marie, and Katie, you're here as Marie's advocate today. You're from CARIE, I believe, is that correct? Right. So you can participate in the conversation to the extent that it's useful. So we're here to have a meeting to talk about the incident that occurred that brought you all in here today. You know, how it's affecting you, how what can be done to move forward to heal the harms that have occurred. As a facilitator, I just need to let you know that I consider everything that's said in here today to be completely confidential. I'm not going to repeat anything to anyone outside of the program that I work with. I might need to discuss it with my supervisor or my coworkers, but it won't leave our program. And during the conversation, hopefully, we will be able to come up with some sort of a plan for you all to move forward and heal and address any issues that have arisen because of the event that occurred. And at the end of our meeting, I can write up any kind of an agreement that we've reached, and you all will receive a copy of it. And as I indicated, Katie is here as an advocate or a support person for Marie. And then also, just so you know, the agreement, anything that we write up, that's also completely confidential. We won't share that with anybody. So, and I should also point out that if at any point you'd like to either take a time out or talk to me privately, or Katie and Marie, if the two of you would like to take a time out to discuss anything privately, we can do that as well. That's something that's always available to us. So before we get started, let me just see if anybody has any questions real quick before we get started.
Nope.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so Marie, would you like to get the conversation started, or would you like me to have Kelly get us started?
No, I think I'd like to sort of get some things off my chest that have just really been bothering me. I mean, I've barely recovered just from the shock of what happened when that fire started. I mean, it was, late at night, I was already in bed, and suddenly, fire engines are outside my house, and it was just really very traumatic. And besides the fact, my cat that I just adore was also injured in the fire. So not only did I have property damage, but this, my cat got hurt pretty badly. So it's just, Marie, I mean, I'm sort of a little scattered in thinking about this just because I'm still recovering, but Kelly has been living with me for 15 years now. And, originally with her daughter's now gone. So she's been by herself. And I didn't quite realize maybe she'd sort of been back to drinking a little bit more than for a while she was very good about that, and went to AA. But anyway, so when she was drinking, it must have fallen asleep, and the curtains, I guess, blew into the candle that she had there. And so most of her apartment upstairs was pretty well destroyed. But unfortunately, besides my cat, it also came down into the back part of my first floor apartment here and burned particularly a closet where I keep all my important papers, my will, my insurance, my social security card, just all sorts of important stuff. So it's just, yeah, we have insurance. I have homeowners, and I guess she has her renter's insurance that hopefully is going to cover the reconstruction or what we need done just to get this back together. But I'm really, not only she had to move out, obviously she couldn't stay there with the damage, she had to move out. So now I'm losing income from what she was paying me. It wasn't very much because, I wanted to help her out. She and I got pretty friendly over the 15 years she's been living here. So on the one hand, I'm sorry this happened to her, but on the other hand, it's really thrown my sort of life plans into a little bit of a chaos. So I don't know what can be done to make this better, but that's really where I am at this point.
So Marie, you're sounding pretty overwhelmed at just all of everything that has happened as a result of this fire, from just the very moment of waking up and hearing the fire alarms to, all of the discoveries along the way of what's been damaged, and even, discovering that Kelly was drinking again. And sounds like just really overwhelming for you in a lot of ways, emotional and practically.
Yeah, until my husband died a couple of years ago, of course, he was managing a lot of those kind of things that I need to take on now. So again, that sort of compounding a little bit of my feelings right now.
Mhm. Okay. Kelly, do you want to share with us your thoughts about what happened that night?
Um, I, I just, I really am thankful for this opportunity. Just because I really wanted to just say how sorry I am that this happened, Marie. I mean, I don't have any excuse. And I don't remember much about that night. You know, and I'm so upset that I slipped back. It's, you know, I've done such a good job with keeping control on my drinking, and then with Abby leaving, I don't know, but that doesn't matter. I'm so sorry that this happened. I mean, I know that, you know, I see you so as such a close friend, almost like family, and I hate that that what happened has impacted you in such a big way. And I'm really thankful that you were willing to do this, because I really want to, you know, work toward making it right again. It's like whatever my ability in that is.
Well, I appreciate your saying you're sorry, but right now I'm still coping with a lot of things.
Kelly, so I'm hearing that you're feeling pretty overwhelmed too, and also remorseful about what happened. Marie, can you tell us a little bit about how the incident affected your relationship with Kelly?
Well, as I say, we've gotten pretty close over the years while she was there, and we enjoyed, you know, sometimes we'd get together and have a meal and so forth. So it was, you know, I feel like I've lost a little bit of companionship, even just of having somebody up there and knowing that, you know, I'm not getting any younger. If something happened to me, if I fell down or whatever, that there might be somebody around that could help. So it's, you know, I'm sorry that she had to move out. Obviously, there was no choice. The place is so damaged up there. But
So that sounds like, you know, yet another loss that you're
yeah.
experiencing as a result of the incident. Kelly, how about you? Anything?
Yeah, I mean, I mean, I'm just kind of echoing what Marie said. I liked, you know, she was a companion for me as well. And, you know, that was home. And, you know, where I am right now, it's not home. So I definitely, you know, am feeling a lot of loss around this, and obviously like very responsible, um, and really just wanting to, you know, I want to come back. I know that I mean, that may not be possible, but I mean, Marie, I'm definitely, I want to come back, and I'm willing to do, you know, within my ability, you know, whatever it takes to earn your trust again.
Marie, well, let me hold off on what I was going to ask you and ask, you know, what would it take to earn Kelly's trust, as she just put it?
Well, I mean, I know she struggled with, you know, drinking, and for a while, as far as I was aware, she was going to AA and trying to keep away from drinking too much. But obviously something happened, whether it was her daughter leaving to go across country to college, which, you know, is a big change for her, but still, and I can't force her to go to AA. So I don't know, you know, if she were to come back, that might be something that I would really want to have some kind of evidence or assurance that she was going to to follow through?
I've been going back. I started AA as soon as like the next day when I realized what I did. And I have a sponsor, and I am more than happy to talk to my sponsor about maybe providing you with updates. But I mean, I agree with you that that's something that I definitely need to do, and I've been doing that for almost a month now.
Another thing was, when I did get a hold of the insurance company and described, how you were living there, and they asked for a lease, some kind of proof that, you were a tenant or whatever. And because you've been living there for so long, we just sort of had let things slide a little bit. And no, we didn't have a real written lease that covered your time there now. So I think, were you to come back, that we would really need to have, I don't know whether, Katie, you can help find somebody that could, produce some kind of lease that would cover our situation, or?
Yeah, I would be glad. We can do that after this call. We can set up a time where we can talk through all of those details, and I can help you get connected with someone that can work with you guys on that. Definitely.
I mean, whether, even just like, I know you still have your job, Kelly, so, I know you have some income, but whether just asking you for a security deposit to sort of get things a little bit back on a more regular track as far as our relationship, but still wanting to keep as much, of our friendship that we had, but give a little more underpinnings to it, so to speak, as far as our landlord-tenant relationship.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be open to that. I don't have, I mean, I hope that you have some flexibility around what that security deposit is. I don't have a lot of wiggle room, but I am open to making it, making us and the landlord-tenant situation as whole as possible.
Marie, is there anything you would like to share about, what else do you need at this point to help you heal and move forward?
Well, I mean, right now, at least the upstairs part is still sort of a burned out shell. And I know, insurance is probably going to pay for it, but just the whole thought of, trying to find some kind of carpenters and people that can come in and do that work. I just, have no idea where to even start looking for anybody that could handle that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm willing to help out with that. I can make phone calls and help coordinate that.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just, how to evaluate. Somebody comes in and says, well, I can do this for $8,000, and somebody else says, no, it's going to be $10,000, to try to be able to understand what's the difference and why is one person better than the other. I don't know.
I mean, I can try to help out with that. I have family who have done some work around the house, and where it wouldn't be, I mean, appropriate, I guess, to ask them to do it. They can help out in terms of trying to give us an idea of what the real cost should be.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So just sort of managing all the repairs that need to be done. Anything else, Marie?
Well, I talked about my cat, and I mean, I know that Kelly never particularly liked cats. I guess, I don't know if she's allergic or not, but anyway, certainly the cat's very important to me, and it really, got injured in the fire. And I mean, it's been about a month now, so yes, it's initial shock of having to rush it to the vet, and the vet bills that I had. I mean, I never never bothered to get pet insurance. I guess I just never thought about it. But, right now, they're bills I need to pay to the vet, and I, have to give it medicine 3 times a day, and which sort of, keeps me from being able to leave the house certain times to go like to a doctor visit or something if I've got to take care of the cat. So that's just something that's still really weighs heavily on me, and it's important to me. So I don't know what Kelly can do about it, since she doesn't particularly like the cat, but
It sounds like your cat is an important companion.
yes, definitely.
Mhm.
I mean, I'd be I'd be happy to help out with taking care of the cat. I mean, yeah, I mean, if you need help with giving the cat medicine, and if I can help. I can help with making sure that the cat is okay when you're out. Um, I can help with that.
Okay.
Oh,
Anything else, Marie, that you need to sort of get your life back to normal?
well, again, it's about all those important papers that were in my closet that got pretty well destroyed either by the fire or the water. I mean, I don't know, Katie, just as far as like getting my social security card back. I mean, some things I just don't know where to start to try to replace these papers. I mean, I had my will that, was drawn up a couple of years ago after my husband died, but no, that was the only copy I had. So
Yeah, that's definitely another thing. I'm making note of the stuff that's coming, like those logistical things. I'm making note of them so we can go through it after. And yeah, we can work on that and kind of come up with a plan on how to get another will, all of those things, definitely.
okay.
Okay. And Kelly, is there anything else that you feel like you can offer, or is there anything else you want to share with Marie at this point?
I just want to say again how sorry I am, Marie, that my poor decisions have impacted you to this, this level. And, whatever I can do to earn your trust back again, I'll do. And, I really am just thankful that we're able to talk. I'm happy to sign a lease. I want to come back.
Marie, anything else you want?
Well, again, it's been a loss not only of property but of a relationship. So I certainly would like to try to restore it. I mean, again, you have to sort of, it takes a while to earn somebody's trust back a little bit. It's not going to be an instant thing, but I'd like to return somewhat to how we were before. But
Thank you.
So it sounds like, we've talked about a lot today. And it sounds like, both of you have experienced some loss. Kelly, I'm hearing, you're very sorry for your part in the loss. And Marie, you're very overwhelmed and just trying to take things one at a time to move forward. It sounds like both of you would like to return to the landlord-tenant relationship. In other words, have Kelly move back in when the property, I guess, is safe and ready to do so. You've talked about, writing up a lease, a security deposit, Kelly helping out with repairs and not physical repairs, but sort of overseeing the repairs, helping out with cat care to the extent that you can. Katie, it sounds like you have offered to help out Marie navigating, replacing the documents that she's lost that don't necessarily have any monetary value, but are very important documents just in her life. And then also it sounds as though the two of you both feel sort of committed to returning to your relationship. Maybe not tomorrow, but as things improve and move forward and some of the pain and grief and loss has subsided, it sounds as though both of you want to resume that friendship and companionship. So at this point, we can write some things up and the two of you can have some plans for moving forward.
And don't forget that she said she was committed to going to sustaining AA or participation in AA. So that's.
Thank you. I didn't mention that, but I will definitely add that into the plan that we write up. Thank you. Okay, so we'll end that here and we'll write up the agreement off screen.